All right, welcome. In today's session, we are going to focus on a truly foundational skill, something that will elevate your spoken Mandarin from just being correct to being genuinely professional. We're talking about creating a smooth, logical flow in your presentations. So, let's dive right in.
You know that feeling? You're giving a presentation, you have all your points lined up, but they just feel like a list of facts. There's no clear connection, no story. Well, today we're going to fix that. The solution is all about the connective tissue of language. Those crucial transition words. They are literally the glue that holds a strong argument together.
You see, in any academic or professional setting, having a clear structure isn't just a nice to have. It's a fundamental sign of respect for your audience's time and their intelligence. And this is especially true in Mandarin-speaking contexts. When you use transition words correctly, you're showing that you've organized your thoughts and that you are carefully, thoughtfully guiding your listener from one idea to the next. So these aren't just little grammar points to memorize. They are your tools for clarity, for logic, and for professionalism.
So where do we begin? Let's start with our first and probably the most common tool for building a sequence. To signal to your audience, okay, we're moving on to the next logical step, you're going to use the word 然后.
So what does it mean? Well, at its core, 然后means then or after that. Its primary job is to link consecutive events or points in your argument. I want you to think of it as a chain, where each of your ideas is a link. 然后 is the piece that connects one to the next, creating this really smooth forward momentum.
Now let's really zoom in on the pronunciation, because this is where a lot of students stumble. The first character, ran, has a rising second tone. It starts low and it goes up, almost like you're asking a question. Ran, you should feel that lift in your voice. Now the second character, ho, that's a falling, rising third tone. This one can be tricky. You start mid-range, you dip down, and then you rise back up. Ho. A very common mistake is to flatten it out or not to complete that dip. So let's try it together. Ran, ho. Getting this right is absolutely crucial for clear communication.
Okay, let's look at a practical example. Imagine you're presenting. Notice the flow here. First, we will discuss the background. You'd pause there, just for a beat. Then you signal the transition. 然后 we will analyze the data. That one word, 然后, acts like a signpost. It tells your listener exactly where you are in the structure of your argument. It's incredibly powerful. All right, so now let's move on to our second tool, and you'll see how it builds on the first. After you've laid out your points sequentially, maybe using 然后 a few times, you need a way to signal that you are arriving at your final, most important statement, and that is the job of 最后. It's not just another word in a sequence, it is a powerful signal that you are reaching your conclusion. Now, this is what I find absolutely fascinating. If we analyze the characters themselves, we get a deeper meaning. 最 means most. It's a superlative, like best or biggest. And ho, which we just saw, means after. So if you translate it literally, 最后 means the most after. Isn't that perfect? It beautifully captures this idea of finality. This is the point after which there are no others.
And listen to how the pronunciation reflects that sense of finality. Unlike the flowing tones of 然后, here we have two strong, sharp, falling fourth tones. 最后. It sounds decisive, doesn't it? It's like you're putting a firm period at the end of your sentence. A common mistake here is to pronounce these tones too softly. You really want them to be crisp and clear to convey a strong, confident conclusion. Let's try it. 最后.
So let's put these two side by side to really understand how they work together. Think of 然后 as the workhorse in the body of your argument. It connects your points, creating that continuous flow, telling the story of, and then this happened, and then this. In sharp contrast, 最后 is the capstone. It signals a fundamental shift from explanation to conclusion. It tells your audience, okay, listen closely, because this is the final takeaway. Using them correctly really shows a sophisticated command of narrative structure.
Let's see them in action together. Imagine you're presenting your research findings. You might say, 然后 we see the results. That smoothly moves you from, say, your methodology to your actual findings. Then for your final, most critical section, you deliver the punchline.
最后, we will discuss the implications.
This tells the audience that you have reached the summit of your argument. This is the so what of your entire presentation. The flow is logical, it's clear, and it's incredibly easy for your audience to follow.
Okay, let's pivot from theory to direct application. How can you take these two words and immediately improve your own presentations? Well, this simple framework we're about to look at acts as the foundational spine for any structured talk you give. It's a beautifully simple yet incredibly powerful three-part formula. First, you state your opening point, nice and clear. Then, for your second point, you use ranhou to create that seamless transition. Of course, if you have a third or fourth point, you can just use ranhou again. And then, when you are ready to deliver your final analysis, your summary, you signal it decisively with suihou. This simple structure provides a robust and, most importantly, an easy-to-follow framework for your audience.
So, as we conclude today, I want you to remember that these are not just vocabulary words to be memorized for a quiz. They are tools. They are tools for building a clear, compelling narrative that allows you to guide your listener confidently through your ideas from start to finish. So the real question I'll leave you with is this: what powerful story will you build?